Hi students, this is what we did this morning. So we had a look at three important questions. The first, why is diesel much more polluting than petrol? The second, why don't we find spark plugs in a diesel engine? C, how is diesel injected so that it can catch fire easily? And we found these answers in the video, what's the difference between petrol and engine? So we checked the answers together. Why is diesel much more polluting than petrol? Perché è più inquinante della benzina. So the reason is the combustion is worse in a diesel engine, which means that when diesel burns, it doesn't burn completely. There are some particles that don't burn. And so together with the exhaust gases, you have soot particles, le particelle sottili, le polveri sottili. And they are very polluting, much more than the exhaust fumes of a petrol engine. Okay, so the reason is not all the fuel burns. B, why don't we find spark plugs in a diesel engine? First of all, remember that diesel is less flammable than petrol, meno infiammabile della benzina, because it is more oilier, più oleoso. So it doesn't give off vapors like petrol does. Non rilascia quei vapori che invece rilascia la benzina. Petrol vapors get easily mixed with air, whereas that is not the case with diesel. Quindi non è il caso del diesel, i vapori non vengono rilasciati e quindi non si mescola bene con l'aria. For this reason, diesel needs a higher temperature to burn, because a spark, una scintilla, is not sufficient, is not enough, non è abbastanza to ignite the fuel, okay? You need a very high temperature to burn diesel. In the video, the person in the video, the man in the video, dropped a match in the diesel bowl and nothing happened, whereas he dropped a match in the petrol bowl and it immediately catches fire. See? How is diesel injected so that it can catch fire easily? Come viene iniettato il diesel nella camera di combustione così che possa prendere fuoco facilmente? Well, remember that diesel is oily, è molto oleoso, okay? So it doesn't catch fire easily. As a consequence, it doesn't easily get mixed with air, non si mescola facilmente con l'aria. And so we need to atomize diesel, dobbiamo atomizzarlo, ok? We need to create a sort of aerosol, dobbiamo creare una specie di aerosol, and spray it, e spruzzarlo, thanks to an injector, grazie ad un iniettore, directly into the combustion chamber. So in the combustion chamber, the diesel spray, the atomized diesel, finds an extremely high temperature, and this permits the combustion. I'll show you in the video, not in the video, but I'll show you an animation now, which can help you understand better. This is the cylinder of a diesel engine. As you can see, you have the intake valve, the exhaust valve, and this is not a spark plug, this is an injector. Quindi questo non è la candela, perché siamo nel motore a diesel, questo è un iniettore. So let's see what happens. Vediamo cosa succede andando il più possibile piano. So the intake valve opens. In this moment, only air comes inside or is sucked in, viene risucchiata inside the combustion chamber. Only air. There is no fuel now. Second, as you can see here, this is the injector which sprays the diesel inside the combustion chamber. As you can see, the pressure here is very high, and as a consequence also the temperature is very high. So you have very hot air, un'aria molto calda here inside, and the diesel engine is sprayed into this combustion chamber. What happens is the combustion. The piston is pushed down, just like in a petrol engine, and then you have exhaust fumes which go out thanks to the opening of the exhaust valve. So it's basically the same as a petrol engine, only this changes, you know. Air is sucked in, and then you have diesel being sprayed. Okay, so remember this. There's another thing I want to show you, un'altra cosa che vi voglio mostrare, to make things clearer, I hope. So let's see the differences between the two. Let's summarize the differences between the two engines. In the first stroke, what happens? The intake valve opens in a petrol engine, and so the air-fuel mixture enters the cylinder. In the diesel engine, only air enters the cylinder. In the second stroke, so the compression strokes, all the valves are closed in the petrol engine, the piston moves up, and the air-fuel mix is compressed, whereas, mentre, in the diesel engine, only air is compressed. And this very high pressure has, as a consequence, produces a very high temperature inside the combustion chamber. Quindi l'elevata pressione dentro la camera di combustione ha come conseguenza un'elevata temperatura. Third step, third stroke, the spark plug in a petrol engine generates the spark, quindi è la candela, come sappiamo, che genera la scintilla, and the fuel burns immediately. In the diesel, you need an injector, c'è bisogno di un iniettore, which sprays atomized diesel fuel, che spruzza il combustibile diesel atomizzato. In this way, the fuel burns, because there is hot air inside, remember this, okay, high temperature. In the final stroke, well, everything is basically the same. In a petrol engine, the exhaust fumes go out thanks to the exhaust valve. And in the diesel engine, the same thing happens, only remember that the exhaust gases in a diesel engine are more polluting. That's all.